G'day and welcome to the Garden Gurus. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We've got another fantastic program for you, packed full of down-to-earth gardening advice. Here's what's coming up on today's show. This week, Nige teaches us the importance of different mowers for different environments. We take you into the backyard of sports mad Tim Gilbert, and I show you my favourite summer tough plants you should consider for your garden.
Digging around. I got my spade, I got my hoe, I got my rake, and I'm ready to go.
There are a few plants that can beat roses for pure wow factor. In bloom, they're colourful, fragrant and show-stopping, taking centre stage throughout the warmer months. From flowering shrubs to ground covers, standards and climbers, there is a rose for every situation. So you can train them to decorate walls, fences and pergolas, use them as standalone features, use them in a cottage border mixed with other colourful plants, or grow them in pots in a city garden. If you want picture-perfect roses, start with the perfect spot. Roses enjoy at least 6 hours of sunlight a day and good drainage, so dig in plenty of compost and organic matter before planting. If you grow them in too much shade, you'll get lanky growth and few flowers. And for gorgeous, long-lasting blooms, give them protection from wind. Watering-wise, newly planted roses will need more water than established ones, but really, once they're established, they're really dry-tolerant plants. But they would prefer a good, deep watering less often than a light daily sprinkle. And if you can, get out there early in the morning and don't water over the foliage, water at the root zone of the plant, because wet foliage, particularly overnight, can encourage fungal disease. Apply a good layer of organic mulch to conserve water and reduce competition from weeds. Repeat flowering roses bloom from spring right through to autumn, and if you want loads of flowers, then the key is to get out the fertiliser. Now, I'm a big fan of liquid feeding because you see fast results. So I start to liquid feed as I see the first signs of new growth come through in the springtime, and continue to feed right through until autumn to really keep those blooms coming. Annual applications of compost and organic matter will also help to improve the health and vigour of your roses. Serious rose pruning is a winter job, but I like to do some summer pruning too. After each flush of flowers, simply prune off 1/3 of growth in a rounded shape. You'll promote a whole new flush of flowers. Roses can be susceptible to fungal diseases like black spot and powdery mildew, so just give them plenty of space to grow and watch over enthusiastic companion plants which can block airflow and increase the chance of disease. Or you can grow some of the tougher rose varieties. Also remember that healthy roses are less susceptible to attack, so keep them well fed and watered, grow them in full sun, and you'll be rewarded with a glorious display of flowers.
I showed you the beginnings of my native garden at home last spring, using tube stock of endemic native plant species we planted out into, well, what is a completely natural local soil. It's not been improved in any way, because that's how these plants evolved here. By planting native tubes in winter, you get the best establishment results and the least plant losses. But to get the best results, I use a green thumb's cheat. I soaked the tube stock in sea soil before I planted them, and I've actually given them a couple of doses of sea soil since. Yes, sea soil actually works for natives. But once they've got their roots established, it's time to give the plants a boost, and there's actually a secret formula that allows you to do that too. It's called Sea Soil Advanced. It's brilliant for all plants, but particularly great on native plants that are establishing, as it's got all the benefits of sea salt with a nutritional boost that's gentle but fast-acting. It comes in a 2-litre hose on, which makes it very easy to apply, and at the moment you can actually get these twin packs, which is exceptional. That one could be the front yard, this one could be the backyard, and the whole garden's done. You know, this stuff is a bit different to the traditional sea salt. It's Sea Salt Advanced. How beautiful is this? This is one of my favourite garden trees. It's a small tree called the golden shower tree. It has these beautiful golden racemes of yellow flowers. And this time of the year, in the late autumn, it's really at its best. Mine's just about finished flowering. They do well all over Australia. They don't like it too cold, and I'm probably right on the border, but I've still got a lovely, healthy tree.
I've been a grass man for many years. I love lawns and I love mowing them. So today is a very special day for me because I'm going to be using a few different mowers designed for different lawns and different mowing situations with something to suit your lawn. The Rover DuraCut 850 SP is a great mower for small to medium-sized lawns and your average garden situation. Being self-propelled makes life easy. More mowing, less energy. The 4 high-lift blades and 18-inch deck make for a beautiful cut on fine to medium grass. The deck wash keeps things clean and the safe stop bar cuts the engine immediately if not held by the operator. Battery power with the Core 1010 means very little maintenance, no petrol and less noise and emissions. The power from the 40-volt battery is surprisingly good, with 60 minutes run time, during which your second battery is charging in readiness for more mowing action. All the safety features are here for a mower suited to small and medium lawns. For fine-leafed, flat-growing grass like couch, a cylinder mower does a lovely job. We had one of these when I was growing up in England. It was so long ago. I think it ran on coal and steam. You see these used on bowling and golf greens for precision mowing excellence. If things are getting a bit rough and uneven, a utility mower is the go. These can handle the action on rough terrain and still do a nice mowing job. With high back rear wheels and side throw, it's perfect for your paddock areas like this one. For large areas, you really need a ride-on mower. The Rover Lawn King has got a wide deck, anti-scalping wheels, electric PTO to engage the cutting deck, and cruise control for constant, accurate mowing speed. For challenging terrain and negotiating obstacles, you can't beat a zero-turn ride-on. They come with lap bars or a steering wheel for total control and accuracy. The wide deck, anti-scalping, turf-safe wheels, 22 horsepower engine, dual transmission and high back seat make for a smooth ride and magnificent mowing experience all year round. So there you go, and there you have it. That's mowing with Ruck.
The next time you head into your local garden centre, you'll notice the pest section looks a little bit different. That's because there's been a whole bunch of insecticides taken out of it. Now, these insecticides all come under different retail names, but they have one common thing. They're from a family of insecticides called neonicotinoids. Now, these particular insecticides are suspected of causing a pretty significant environmental problem, and they were banned in the European Union back in 2013. Now, leading garden centres right across Australia have banned them from their shelves too. Now, the main reason is there's a serious concern that this family of chemicals may be responsible for something known as colony collapse disorder. CCD is a phenomenon that occurs when the majority of worker bees in a colony just disappear. The reason the workers never returned wasn't known until recently, when it was discovered that minuscule amounts of these neonicotinoids seem to affect the bees' homing device. Basically, they load up with food and then they get lost, never making it back to the hive. This is a really big issue in the USA, where bee populations today are 50% of what they were 10 years ago. So it's good news for us here in Australia, particularly when you take into account that 1/3 of the world's food supply comes as a result of pollination from honeybees. So it's good news for us, but also for animals too. The reality, however, is we still need to control pests in our home gardens. It's vitally important to the quality of the food plants we grow and the health of our flower gardens. So, with this family of chemicals gone, what do you do? This has to be one of the very best. It uses 3 completely natural ingredients, including this one here. You know chili, when you munch on it, it makes your mouth really fiery. When you eat too much of it, it upsets your stomach. It starts to really rumble. So imagine what that does to a caterpillar munching its way through your favourite veggies. The next ingredient is garlic. And we all know that garlic wards off vampires, right? So any of the sapsuckers, like aphids, will leave quickly if this is around. Garlic wards off ants, thrips, leafhoppers, and even whitefly. The last ingredient comes from a daisy that grows in Africa. It's called pyrethrum, and it'll control most pests of consequence in a backyard. In fact, you put these 3 together and you've got the ultimate natural control of most bugs of any consequence. Now, here's the important thing. Use this, you're not going to affect bees. It is bee friendly and it keeps you away from those nasty neonicotinoids that we're so concerned about.
Tree ferns, conifers and cycads are some of the most ancient plants on the planet. This one here is a native tree fern. It's called Dicksonia antarctica, and they love these sorts of conditions, cool and shady. And this is growing right next to the creek here, and the roots have gone in there and they're accessing all that fresh, beautiful water. But just remember, if you're growing one at home, they do like water from above too. So hose the fronds and let the water trickle down the trunk. They love it. Dicksonia antarctica.
If you're not exactly happy with your garden just at the moment, this might be the perfect time of the year to get out and check out some of the plants that are performing in and around your neighbourhood. Thought I'd show you some of my favourites that I'm thinking about adding to my garden. This is Roselia equisetiformis, or better known as the firecracker plant, and it is an absolute cracker if you want an all-year-round display of red flowers. It originates from Mexico and tolerates exceptionally hot, dry conditions really well. In fact, in most places in Australia, when planted, this doesn't need any supplementary watering once established. It's got a real calming influence in a garden with its structure and the way it feels, and it's perfect when you use it lining a pathway. It just weeps over the side. And best of all, these flowers don't just look good all year round, they attract birds to the garden too. Lantana has a pretty bad reputation as a pest, particularly in New South Wales and Queensland. But one form, a species called motivadensis, is a valuable garden plant in the southern states where it's not a pest. It has some genuine value in sandy soils that lack water holding capacity. This is a beautiful succulent, and I do love my succulents. This is called Senecio serpens. Now, it's the blue chalk sticks, and it's got this wonderful blue foliage, and it's a ground cover, so it makes a great base to any garden bed you throw it into. Now, it's so easy to grow. You can grow it from cutting, put it into a free draining soil, make sure it's in full sun, and you will have this beautiful blue colour right through your garden. If you're thinking about a water-wise climber, it's hard to go past this one. It's the Mexican coral vine. It's a deciduous climber that's absolutely gorgeous this time of the year, smothered in stunning pink flowers. Once it's established, there really is no additional water required to get the very best results out of it. Last on my list today is an old favourite. It's the crepe myrtle. Now, we've shown you a few this series, but it's such a magnificent plant with brightly coloured tiny crepe flowers in summer and bronze autumn foliage. I actually think the greatest asset is its bark. Uplit, this tree looks amazing at night in winter. It's incredibly drought hardy and grows in most soil types. If there was one complaint about this beautiful plant, it's got to be this disease that spoils the foliage called powdery mildew. The good news is there are new varieties out that are powdery mildew resistant, so keep your eye out for them. And if you do want some more information, simply visit our website. You can check out our guide to growing crepe myrtles. Citrus are really coming into their own in gardens now, and there's a few problems you should look out for. The ones you should watch are easily fixed if you act now. If I was to narrow it down to two main problems, it would be this one: citrus leaf miner, twisting leaves, and those sucking insects, aphids and brown citrus scale, causing this sort of damage. Aphids can do a heap of harm to the new foliage, and scale can smother branches, fruit and leaves this time of the year. Now, this spray will control all three pests using a combination of two natural ingredients, canola oil and pyrethrin from the pyrethrum daisy. Simply apply to the foliage to the point of runoff, making sure you spray underneath to ensure complete covering of the leaf and pest. It's not just great for your citrus. This product is also ideal for controlling pests on your roses and ornamental plants as well. Yates Nature's Way citrus and ornamental spray is completely naturally based, and it's got seaweed in it, so when you spray the foliage over, it's going to boost some growth. Most importantly, it is approved for organic use in the gardens. This is a great solution to pest problems with your citrus.
This is the Queensland bottle tree, which you can see gets its name from its characteristic trunk, which can get to some 2 metres across. Now, what is actually stored in this tree between the inner bark and the trunk? And historically, Aborigines used to carve holes into the trunk to create reservoirs to collect water.
Autumn is the time to plant out new garden plants, and particularly native species, because they establish using winter rainfall. If there was one thing that could negatively impact this strategy, it would be poor quality soils. But there's a way to guarantee every plant you put in gets off to the perfect start. Julian Rose is the Managing Director of Deep Green Landscapes, and recently his team completed the 27-hectare landscape of the new stadium in Perth, which involved hundreds of thousands of native plants being installed as tube stock. I was fascinated at the success rate that he enjoyed, and his secret to success was something I thought we had to share with you at home. It's something we can all do. Julian, I'm really fascinated by the results you guys had with the stadium project, the number of tubes you put down, and the success rate's enormous. What's the key to success?
Well, Trevor, we had 360,000 tubes that we put into that project, and the key to the plant growth with all of those shrubs was the tablet that we used.
What's it doing that's making such a big difference compared to them just going into normal soil?
Compared to normal fertiliser and everything, this tablet has a whole heap of natural microbes in it as well. So not only does it have 60 sort of different types of nutrients in there, it's packed full of microbes. So those microbes actually activate those nutrients in the soil. So it means the plant can get all of those nutrients a lot easier.
One of the things that people think is that native plants don't need to be fed, but it's really important, isn't it?
It is, Trevor. What we want to be doing is giving all plants we put in the ground a little bit of fertiliser. It's really important to get the root zone of the plants established, and very early on, so adding that fertiliser in, the plant's 10 times in front of where it would be if it wasn't getting fertilised.
And it's true, preparation is key for all plantings. Let's take a look at Julian's magic trick. So what would you do?
Well, Trev, the great thing about these tablets is it's a delivered amount of fertiliser every time, which makes it really easy for everyone to use. Basically, small amount of soil in the bottom of the pot.
Yep.
Add the tablet in, tiny little bit of soil over the top, and then plant your plant. And that's the exact same thing you'd do if you're doing it in your garden, except you're digging a hole first.
It's that easy.
Just remember to always make sure you give it a good watering in after you've planted the plant, and that activates all the fertiliser and everything within the tablet.
Unbelievable. If you're going to plant any new garden plants in your garden, stack the odds of success in your favour and plant with Treforte M planting tablets. You can get them in your local garden centre. Have you ever wondered what life is like for your favourite Nine Network personalities away from the studio? This week we're visiting the home and garden of sports mad Tim Gilbert. One of TV's nice guys, Tim's obsession with sports has seen him head up sports reporting for the Today Show. He might love his sports, but the word is his garden is missing his attention. Well, Tim, this is a pretty good garden, mate. I mean, what's going on here?
Discipline's everything, Trevor, and every day I get back home after production on the Today Show, and I water it, as you can see. Am I watering weeds here?
Well, no, you're not. You do have some pretty cool plants here, and at certain times of the year there'd be some terrific colour and so on.
I'll let you in a little secret. I don't do a lot. I knew you were coming, so I got the hose out. But I suppose it's pretty typical of a lot of people around Australia. Like, 3 kids, busy job.
Absolutely.
So don't always have the time to do it.
This is also one of the toughest times of the year. End of summer, things always look a little bit sort of scorched. It's a little bit harsh, and it's been really hot weather here in Sydney too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Well, look, I hate to say it, but I think that's not quite the right way to hold the hose.
Oh, right.
You know, I think it's good not to have a fitting on the end, but I'd have the finger on the end of the hose a little
Just
bit.
to phase it out of it. No green thumbs here.
You know what? I'm here to help. Hose is off. Come on, show me around.
Okay. Well, I cannot believe this. 24 hours ago, this was lush and rich. Look at it now.
That's lacking water. That's a box hedge. It's the sort of thing that you'd normally find in an English garden, and that's where the rainfall's consistent all the time, all through the year. They can handle that and they'll grow really well. But if I was going to give you some advice, I'd think about some different plants. There's a few different sort of species you could grow here. If you want to do something different, maybe some succulents.
Succulents?
Really trendy at the moment, require very little water. People live busy lives. You know, you want to have a nice garden, but you don't necessarily have the time.
Yeah.
So it's all about plant selection, making sure you're using a watering system that's automated. So
You would put a watering system in there?
I would definitely put a watering system in.
I'll look into the succulents and get that irrigation going. Well, look, I should have watched Alan Seal a little bit closer when I was growing up. That's a dry old oak. Come inside. Why don't you go
All
inside?
right, sounds good, sounds good. Now, your role with Nine is pretty intense. You're in there really early in the morning every day. What's the Today Show like?
Oh, it's great. I love doing it. Look, I've been at Nine for 22 years. I've done all sorts of different bits and pieces, but sport's always been the focus as a journalist, and I've had great opportunities. The Today Show, it's a great show. I love the people I work with. A lot of young people coming through too, so they keep us oldies young.
I find that with gardening too, and keeping the garden looking good. So I've got you a little gift, mate.
Beautiful.
This is sea salt. Now, this has got all sorts of things. There's fertilisers, there's soil tonics in there. It's going to get your garden back up to scratch. There's a big bucket of it. I'm going to leave that with you. Here you go, mate.
Thank you, mate. Straight to my wife.
All right. Beautiful. Thanks for having us around.
Cheers, mate.
Well, that's all we've got for you this week. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now, we are back next week with another fantastic celebrity garden backyard that we'll show you, and some terrific down-to-earth gardening advice. Now, if you want any information from today's show, all you have to do is visit our website, or if you've got a gardening question, become a friend on Facebook. We love answering your questions. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We'll see you next week for the Garden Gurus.